Welcome to The Explainer. So today we're going to talk about something that's, well, it's one of the most profound human experiences there is, grief. It's a journey every single one of us will face, but it's also deeply personal and, honestly, pretty misunderstood. So let's try to get a clearer picture of what it is and how we can learn to navigate it.
Okay, let's just dive right in with the foundational truth. This quote really gets to the absolute heart of it. There is no one-size-fits-all correct way to grieve. Your path is your own, and that's probably the first and most important thing to really get. You know, when we hear the word grief, our minds usually jump straight to death, but it's so much broader than that. Really, it's a reaction to any major loss or change in our lives, something that forces us to stop and completely reevaluate who we are. It's a process, a journey that literally reshapes our inner world.
So what happens when we try to just ignore all those powerful emotions? I mean, we're told all the time to be strong or just move on, right? But trying to bury those feelings can have some seriously unintended consequences.
And this is usually where it starts, with words that get stuck in our throats and feelings that we just lock away. We bottle them up, sweep them under the rug, just hoping they'll, disappear? But emotions are energy, and energy doesn't just vanish into thin air. This analogy is just perfect for what happens next. Think about it. Shaking a can of soda. That pressure just builds and builds and builds. You can't contain that repressed emotional energy forever. It's really not a matter of if it will come out, but when and how. And here you can see a really clear choice emerges. On one side, you've got suppression. That energy gets repressed, and it almost always leads to an uncontrollable explosion that can cause a lot of collateral damage. But on the other side, you have expression. And this isn't about avoiding the feeling. It's about creating a safe space to actually process it, to navigate the emotion instead of being totally consumed by it.
And see, that's the thing. This release of emotion, it's usually not some gentle, controllable event. When that dam finally breaks, it can feel like an absolute force of nature.
For one person we learned about, this moment came completely out of the blue. It was 6 months after losing his father, after just going through the motions, functioning on autopilot. And then suddenly, the reality of his loss hit him, and it was totally uncontrollable.
I mean, that is just such a raw, authentic description, isn't it? It shows you that grief operates on its own timeline. The release can be deeply physical, totally overwhelming, and completely involuntary. You don't get to schedule it. It shows up when it's ready.
And these quotes, man, they really capture the pure chaos of that moment. All bets are off. It's like you don't know when you're going to get punched in the face. It's just chaos. You can't plan for it. And as that last line says, it leaves you completely drained on every single level.
So after that tsunami hits, life is just never quite the same. The ground has literally shifted under your feet. And the question then becomes, how in the world do you move forward in this brand new landscape?
This brings us to a really critical choice, and this line captures it beautifully. You can't stop the waves of life and loss from coming. That's a given. So the only real choice you have is to learn how to navigate them. Let's break down these two approaches. Resisting the wave is like trying to stand perfectly still while the ocean just crashes over you again and again. It leads to this stagnant existence, a life that feels deceased, where you're present, but you're not really living. Riding the wave, though, that means accepting the new reality and adapting, finding a new way to move with the current of life.
For some people, this adaptation can take a very practical form. One woman who lost her daughter actually described creating a new calendar for her life. There was the before and there was the after. It's not about forgetting what happened, it's about acknowledging a fundamental shift and finding a new framework to make sense of this new reality.
And through all that pain, a powerful, if difficult, lesson often emerges. In remembering a friend who just lived life to the absolute fullest, one person found gratitude. It just goes to show how death can become this profound teacher, pushing us to live more fully now, because tomorrow is never, ever guaranteed.
But here's the thing. This isn't a journey we take in a vacuum. It's a shared human experience. And because of that, the question has to become, how can we best support each other through these inevitable waves?
You know, our best intentions can so easily backfire. We try to fix the feeling instead of just sitting with it. Phrases like all is well or be strong can make someone feel completely unheard, like their pain isn't valid. And even I know how you feel, which comes from a good place, can miss the mark because every single loss is unique. So what can we do? Well, the key is to be led by the person who is grieving.
First, you just got to read the room. Do they want company or do they need space? Then ask, don't assume. A simple, how can I support you right now, goes such a long way. And honestly, sometimes the best thing you can possibly do is just offer your presence, without trying to fill the silence with cliches. It's all about acknowledging their reality, whatever it looks like, without any judgment.
So, in the end, navigating grief isn't just about learning to live with what we've lost. It's also this incredible opportunity to learn invaluable lessons about how to cherish the life we still have. By facing loss, we can gain a much deeper appreciation for the act of living itself. So, what will you take away from that?